Full house today. I was sitting there, I was just noticing how much one of the things I just love about this place over the years has just been actually just sitting in here and hearing the sounds around here. You know, the birds and the cars going by and the occasional cough and the floor creaking downstairs, you know, as people walk around. I felt like just going ahead and just finishing out the day that way and then go home. But I've been asked to do a talk. My name is Bruce Lambson, by the way, for those of you who don't know me. And thanks so much for coming. And, you know, in Buddhism, I mean, there's a million things to talk about. And there's all sorts of different questions that people have. And we'll get into some of those today. And I'll ask you what your questions might be too as well. Maybe we'll do a little big mind process around some of those things. But I guess where I wanted to start is on our new website for Genpo Roshi, genpo.org. At the top, there's a little quote that says, "Stop wasting your time. Ask the big questions." And there's a story behind this. It's kind of an interesting story. There's one of Genpo Roshi's monks. He's been a monk a long time. His name is Frank Duwala. I think that's how I pronounce it, yeah? Yeah, Genpo Roshi's a student, rather, a monk of his, of hers. And I guess Roshi's grandson in the... Oh, he's not ordained. Okay, well, he's a guy. He's a guy who's been a student, and he lives over in Belgium. And one time, I guess, 92 or so, when Roshi was teaching over in Europe, after the session was over, they're in the kitchen making food and this and that, and Frank came up to ask Roshi, and I don't even remember the exact question, maybe somebody could refresh me, but it was some sort of minor question about, you know, how to tie up his robes just right or something like that. And Roshi listened to him for a second, and then he turned to him and he said, "Frank, ask the big questions." And Frank had an enlightenment experience at that moment. Or so goes the tale. But, so it's an interesting question, you know, like in our life nowadays, I mean, there's so many things we have to deal with. We, you know, get up in the morning and right off the bat, it's like, what am I going to have for breakfast? Am I late? Do I have gas in my car? Should I go back to sleep? You know, I mean, there's just all these things that go on during the day around work and the family and all those kinds of things. And, you know, we get bogged down in a lot of small questions. And of course, these are things that have to be answered. These are things that we have to deal with. But there's times and places and where we do need to ask the big questions about our life and what we're doing here and who are we and all those kinds of things. And of course, that's why the Zen Center is here and has been here for 15 years, because this is our focus. This is what we do here as best we can. And I'm very happy to be able to take this seat today. I get to do this about once a year, so it's kind of exciting for me. But please come back and listen to all our other great teachers too, Genpo Roshi, Doan Sensei, Rich Christopherson, Mike Zimmerman, Diane Hamilton. We've got some great teachers here who can help you get through some of these big questions. I guess, you know, another thing that we do here that kind of goes to this issue is if you come for the evening sittings that we have Wednesday nights, Tuesday nights, some other nights, you have to check the schedule. But usually at the end of the evening sittings too, there's a little, I guess, sort of invocation that we do that kind of points to this issue as well. And it's very, very old. It's been chanted for I don't know how many hundreds and hundreds of years. But after the bell rings and before everybody leaves, the Jikido, do you want to do it? We'll say, and they do this in kind of they try to do this in a scary kind of voice, right? Kind of a ghostly sort of voice on purpose to freak you out. And it just goes, let's see, how does it start? No, not that one. Anybody know?
Chanting it that way, you might remember it better.
I know.
times with let. Starts with let.
Let me respectfully.
Yeah, that's right. I got it. I just needed the first word. Okay, he goes, let me respectfully remind you, life and death is of supreme importance. Time swiftly passes and opportunity is lost. Awaken, awaken, take heed. Do not squander your life. Okay, I did a terrible job on it. It's usually good when like one of the people from Europe does it, because there's something about that sort of like a German or something accent that makes it even scarier. But you know, it leaves you sort of unsettled. Like you walk out going, you know, maybe you have this like really peaceful meditation, and you kind of walk out of the room going, oh my God, life and death. Don't squander my life. What am I doing now, you know? So there's these things that we have all through our practice that sort of remind us of those things. So today maybe I thought we'd do a little exercise in impermanence and in death on a nice sunny day, huh? Okay, all right. But first, how many people here have done Big Mind before? Yeah? How many haven't, let's see? Okay, well, what this process is basically, and you just follow along. We always say fake it till you make it. And basically what we do is ask, or what I'll do, is ask to speak to a certain aspect of yourself, a certain part of yourself, and just sort of embody that and speak from that, and let's hear what the wisdom that comes out of that is. Okay? So you'll see others do it, yeah.
I think the best description that you gave was in that email you sent out about what Big Mind was.
Go get the email. I've forgotten it by now.
Oh, did you?
But thank you. Everybody read the email. All right, so Big Mind process is a very simple thing, and I'll ask to speak to an aspect of yourself, and you'll say you are that thing, and then we'll ask questions about that. So the very first one I'd like to speak to is just the ordinary self that walked in here today. So if you'd allow me, I'd like to speak to the ordinary self. Okay? And you can kind of make a little shift in your seat to go from where you were to there, although it's the same one you came in with, so maybe you don't have to. Okay, so you are? The ordinary self. Okay. Tell me about your dreams, your plans, your goals, your priorities. Anybody can start. Lunch. Good one. That's one of Don Sensei's favorites. Yeah.
I want to get a degree in a house.
A degree in a house. Okay, good. That's it, you guys are just not motivated.
Tangible.
Okay. What's that?
Tangible.
Something tangible?
Yeah, that's just the word.
Tangible, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
I'm going to bicycle to South America.
Want to bicycle to South America? That's it. That sounds exciting.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Good. Okay.
I want my son to grow up okay.
Want your son to grow up okay, of course. Yeah, that's tough. Huh?
Want to save the world?
Want to save the world? Yes.
Ultimately, happiness, sense of value, self-satisfaction. I want to be able to get up in the morning, look in the mirror, and say it's okay to be you.
I can go with that one. That'd be a good one. Yeah. What else? Yeah.
Want to be successful?
Want to be successful? Like, explain.
Just in career and being financially stable. And,
Right. Everything just be smooth and okay.
yeah.
That's a good one. What else?
I want to love life.
I want to love life. Sure. Yeah, it's a lot to love there. Huh?
Just want to be happy.
Want to be happy? Okay.
I want people to see me for who I really am.
We see you for who you really are.
Right, Bruce.
Right behind you there, yeah.
I want to get enlightenment.
One enlightenment, sure. I mean, here we are in the place where we claim to do that.
I don't want to come back to this planet anymore.
Oh, you don't want to come back to this planet anymore? Have you got a planet picked out?
It's not a planet, but whatever it is, enlightenment, that's freedom, I want that.
Okay, all right. Enlightenment and freedom. Right, good. Good. Anybody else? Okay, well, that sounds like a lot of things that I think we can all relate to, right? A little happiness, a little enlightenment, a little money, yeah.
To be loved.
To be loved.
Look that up.
That's a good one. Anybody doesn't want to be loved here? Okay. All right. Want your kids to grow up healthy and strong, right? Anybody else? Okay, so we have all these different things that we kind of have in our mind. You know, part of it's sort of part of our identity. You know, that we want to fulfill that identity, and some of it's just you know, very holy sort of things or spiritual things. Some of them are just more mundane things. So how do we set our priorities? How do you set your priorities as the ordinary self? Yeah. Poorly. Yeah.
Immediate importance.
Immediate importance? So what's ever happening right then that needs to be taken care of? Okay.
I'd say money. I guess that things have to be set in accordance to what's going to get me through this day to the next day.
Okay.
And
All
going
right.
to work, having to do that.
All right. Good. Good. Yep.
Little steps, details, the little things,
Yeah.
step by step.
Just step by step. Okay. Anybody in here like a big spreadsheet planner or anything like that? Yeah.
Elaborate multi-tiered to-do lists.
Okay, you're the guy. Okay, that's good. That's good, and it works most of the time, right?
No.
No? Okay. Yes, sir.
I think it's developing a sense of principles and values for yourself. If the goal ultimately is to be happy, you gotta figure out what that is, what that looks like for you.
Yeah, it's hard to pin down though, huh? I mean, because so many different things come up, life changes. Yeah.
I never do everything on my to-do list, but I do the things that I'll get in trouble if I don't do them, basically.
Yeah, okay, right.
Where the
Right.
consequences are the worst if I don't.
Yeah, you get that, you see that big stick over the back of your head, come down on you. Yes.
I used to do lists, but then the lists got so long, I had to read versions even looking at the list.
Yeah, that can
So
happen.
now it's like a bucket with a bunch of holes in it, and I just go to the biggest leak first and try to.
Okay. Well, I guess, you know, in life you can play offense or defense, right? Yeah. The defensive one is just like plugging all the holes all the time. Yeah, good, good. Okay, well, let me up the bar a little bit here. And let me now speak to the one who has 3 years to live. Okay. Okay. So you are? 3 years to live. Let's say you're perfectly healthy, but on June 8th, 2011, it's gone. Okay? So now let's take a look at your priorities. Take a minute and think about it. 3 years. What do you want to get done? Yeah.
I first probably want to cry about it and then get on with my life, whatever that is.
Okay, cry for a while and then get on with whatever's there, huh? Okay?
Fulfill my dreams.
Sorry?
Fulfill my dreams.
Who said that?
Me.
Oh, there you are. Hi. Fulfill your dream? What's your dream?
I like to travel. I want to meet a lot of different cultures. I want to make sure that people I care for are okay.
Okay, all right. Travel, make sure the folks around you are okay. And in that next 3 years. Yeah, okay. There's just some time for that, yeah.
Probably just keep on hoeing the garden, but just appreciate it more.
Okay. Yeah, I think there's maybe a level of appreciation that goes up at this point, huh? For what you've done.
When I was diagnosed with cancer, the doctor basically gave me a death sentence. And the first thing it became about was no longer me, it was the people that I loved and what I would leave behind.
Okay. Okay. So that was a shift for you from
It was, yeah,
previous?
it was no longer about Anthony's life, it was about the people that Anthony loved and cared for.
Yeah.
Just trying to be remembered after the 3 years, doing things that set ground or set seed for the future.
Okay. So you want to leave a bit of a legacy, or?
And yeah, in a sense, maybe like a book or something like that.
Write a book.
To have my friends and family and loved ones or complete strangers
Yeah. Yeah.
make an indent.
Want to be remembered, yeah.
But I should add, now that I know I'm gonna live, it's about me again.
I'll leave that alone. Is there somebody else over here?
I think the ultimate legacy
Uh-huh.
is to leave behind a group of people who can say their life was better because they knew you.
That's nice.
And that's the goal.
Yeah. Leave the world a better place, huh?
The world in the form of individual people who
Okay.
it was better because you touched it.
So even more personal. Yeah. Yeah. 3 years, yeah.
I keep thinking it's all about me now. I've got
So-
3 years now, it's all about me.
That's it. Well, yeah, I would think so. I mean,
So I can-
turns your focus a little inward, maybe. So what do you think about it? You got 3 years to live.
I'm not sure yet.
Not sure?
Yeah.
I know it's only been a couple
That's
minutes since
done.
we're not over the crying yet.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
I would exercise more, I would sit more, and I would just try and relax and enjoy what is.
Okay, exercise and sit more. Okay, yeah.
And I would try to spend as much time in the present, just enjoying the richness of every day.
Okay. So things take on a new significance, I think, don't they? I mean, when you know the clock's ticking like that. Yeah.
Stop wasting time.
Stop wasting time.
That's the big question.
How do you waste time now?
Stupid stuff.
Like
Daydreaming,
daydreaming. Okay.
spacing out.
Spacing out. Okay. Yeah.
I realize my perspective hasn't shifted much. From when I, as the self, going to South America, I realize now in the next 3 years I'm going to be accomplishing that, and that's, you know,
Okay.
that's who I want to be. That's how I live.
Right, right. So do you feel a little more sense of urgency about it? Like,
Not necessarily.
you're just happy you're gonna do it the next 3 years?
Yeah, I know. As the self, I was leaving September, so I know I'm already on
Right.
that path.
How long will it take you to do the trip?
No idea.
What do you do when you get back?
No idea.
Okay. Yeah.
I think to create that ability by the things you're doing and the people you're around that you don't even realize the time. You're not. I think you'd be miserable. I think it would be a miserable thought if you were always focused on, I only got 2 years and 2 months, and like you're living your life to where there's a constant flow, and the 3 years go by, and maybe you didn't even know.
Yeah, yeah. I know the time warps a bit, doesn't it? Yeah.
I want to spend a lot of time laughing and playing with my grandkids.
Okay, laughing and playing with the grandkids. Sounds like a good one. Yeah.
With only 3 years though, there's some dreams that you have to give up.
There are, aren't there?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you decided you wanted to become a surgeon,
Yeah.
can't do it in 3 years, can you?
Or have kids.
Or
and
have
see them grow
kids
up.
and see them grow up. Oh my gosh, that's a big one. Yeah. So your priorities change, huh? Yeah.
And fast forward to the last week before I die, I probably have a big party with all my loved ones, whatever. And then I find myself a nice little cave and practice till I bit the dust.
Okay, so you'd focus on practice. Okay. All right. Yeah.
The little stuff.
A lot of the little stuff goes away, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Just go outside.
yeah, yeah.
I really want to cut through any bullshit.
Cut through the bullshit. Yeah. Take heed. Do not squander your life. Yeah.
I think I would try and spend a lot of time here.
Here?
More time.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
I'd really like to really be closer with those people that are in my life.
Yeah. I think, yeah, our relationships take on a new significance. Yeah.
Okay, the reality is that by giving me 3 years, maybe it's good because maybe I was supposed to die tomorrow. What I think what I will do is to try to meditate more and look for a great master So to make sure that I come back to the, as I said before, I don't want to come back here. So, try to do the best I can to go to, emptiness or whatever it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but 3 years may be a lot
3 years may be a lot.
for somebody.
That was a good, that was an excellent example of shifting perspectives. I mean, sometimes people, impermanence, the word impermanence scares them because they think it's all about the decay part of impermanence, but they forget that there's an arising part of impermanence. Somebody said, yeah, you might die tomorrow, but you might win a Ferrari tomorrow too. Yeah. That might be worse. Then die the day after driving the car. Yeah.
Part of me is kind of excited to know something like that, to know I have 3 years. There's so much you have to accept you'll never know.
Yeah, so say more about that.
Part of, I think, my spiritual evolution is to release control, to understand that I don't control anything really. And to know you have 3 years instead of wondering if it's tomorrow or 20 years is kind of reassuring. It gives you can make the best to-do list, the most detailed, accurate to-do list.
It's true, down to the minute.
Yeah, I don't know, I know something.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. Yeah, brings a little focus to the situation. Yeah.
I just want to be a good example for my kids.
Yeah.
Show them how to grow up.
Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of that from everyone about, my kids, my family, my parents, some of us have lost our parents already, so it's a little different that way, but, it puts a new focus on the things around life.
I think the power in this is that the things that I'm sure about is if you want to define your death, you have to define your life. So since nobody's really guaranteed whether that 3 years is up or not, it's if you start defining your life, you pretty much can determine how you're going to die.
Yeah.
Kind of continuing what this young lady said, it would almost make you become fearless. Kind of like, you know you're gonna die in 3 years, so you really have nothing to worry about. You don't have anything to hold you back. You don't have, you can pretty much become fearless, and you can speak your mind and believe in yourself, and you don't really have to worry about it. You don't have to confine to either social aspects or fear aspects, political aspects. You don't have to confine to it because it really isn't important and it really doesn't concern you.
If you're guaranteed the 3 years.
Yeah.
If you switch it and say sometime in the next 3 years, but 3 years for sure, that changes a little bit. But let's try to go another step on this and see what happens. See how this might change things. Let me now speak to the one who has 3 months to live. So you are? 3 months to live. Now what do you do? Quit your job. You're here. Yeah.
Run for president.
Run for president. A very short term, I think. Yeah. Panic? You might, huh? I mean, that's pretty rough news, huh? 3 months.
Spend the rest of it outside.
Spend the rest of it outside? Just by yourself?
Wouldn't have to be that way.
No. You'd like that?
Anybody else can come.
Okay, they can all come with it. Okay, yeah.
Unfortunately, it would probably be a lot of time being spent making sure that, my wife isn't left with a lot of debt or a lot of problems, or my family or whoever it is, the burdens that I've had to carry through my life because I wasn't planning on dying in 3 months.
Yeah.
Now are going to be someone else's, so unfortunately I have to get that taken care of so that they don't have to struggle throughout their life, and at the same time juggle getting to know and getting to love the people that you've already loved and know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what they say, get your affairs in order. So what are your affairs? What's really important? Who do you need to talk to?
constriction of time really brings into focus, like, what is it that I'm here to do, and what do I really want to do? What is my dream? Because I only have 3 months to do that, if that's the case.
Yeah, I mean, it forces you to say, gosh, well, you know, what is the most important thing I can do the last 3 months? And, you know, when you're young, it's like, oh, I'll figure it out later. I'll go to college maybe I'll get a job, maybe I'll get married, I don't know, that sounds good, I'll deal with it when it comes. But, you know, when there's a time constraint, it really puts a focus on things, doesn't it? Yeah.
I meet with everybody that I know.
You meet with everyone?
Everyone that I know.
Okay.
And take the time to express my gratitude for them.
Yeah, definitely.
I try and stop squandering my life. Even in the course of meditation, I try and stop squandering that.
Right.
And just really attend to whatever matters at hand.
Right, so if you're sitting, you're really going to sit.
Dealing with someone.
If you're having a meal, you're going to really have that meal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
You know, the first thing I noticed when you narrowed it down to 3 months was that money was completely insignificant.
Yeah, in some ways. I mean, this gentleman pointed out you want to take care of your family if you have one, that as best you can. The bills, I don't know. So 3 months. What do you really do? Think about it. What would you really do?
Redefine yourself.
Redefine yourself?
Redefine yourself, what you stand for, who you are, and a process that can shift entirely how you respond back to the world and people.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, so you might even go back over your life a little, huh?
Mm-hmm. I treat every day like an ordinary day.
Okay, treat every day like an ordinary day. Yes, sir.
Well, I know when I'm happiest now is on those days that I'm loving the deepest.
Okay.
So I would try to love the deepest kind of what this gentleman was sharing about gratitude.
Right. Yeah, because you probably have a lot to be grateful for, huh?
Forget redefining myself or anything like that. I'm gonna rob a bank and take the family to Tahiti. You got 3 months. They're not gonna catch you in 3 months.
I dispute that, but rob a bank. Okay. Do you have anything? No. Okay. Somebody over here? Yeah.
In a way, you had an opportunity to actually live more present than a lot of times if you're living 5 years.
Right.
Because, you know, if I look at the time I waste, kind of an automatic pilot.
Yeah.
Maybe in the day, I'm really present, half an hour. Well, if you had 3 months, you could leverage that to be worth a whole lot more. You don't have that luxury of pretending that you're going to do stuff that's really important later on.
I think if you have 3 months, the time actually expands. So I really try to use that, expand my awareness to catch that.
Mm-hmm. Is that possible to do even if you don't have 3 months?
That's why we're doing this session.
Right. Just checking it.
I don't know, I feel like each day in my life goes by just one at a time, and like it changes from day to day, like how deeply I'm feeling something. So I think like I would just love as deeply and fiercely as I ever have, and be as honest as I ever have, you know, because it wouldn't matter if it was tomorrow, if you narrowed it down to 3 months to tomorrow. I just would be as in contact with my own feelings as I ever have.
Yeah. Good.
One thing that as we're just talking about this, that it kind of in a sense puts a damper on things, but everything involves another person for me anyway. I'm someone who really is close to my family and the people around me. The unfortunate part of it is they have more than 3 months to live. If I'm the only one with 3 months to live, they still have to do their everyday routine, so it would be really hard to get people to, because I would need their undivided attention in order to fulfill what I would like to do, but it creates kind of a problem. Like, what do you do with the inevitability of the drama? You know, I may be dying in 3 months, but my sister with the new baby niece that I love, you know, she has to take care of that niece. She has things she has to do. She has to keep her mortgage payment in her house in order. So, you know, kind of it'd be a real struggle in that case, and so it'd be hard not to slip into a depression or something like that, because other people aren't going to be able to give you that.
Yeah, I think it's easy to say that, well, I would just sort of bliss out, or I would, you know, live every moment, but I think it might be more serious than that. It might be a little panicky, a little scary. Yeah.
So my panic attack, I've been thinking, and I think I will try to, first of all, I usually talk to my children. If they one day, they should be happy because it's part of my evolution. So even, you know, even before I start coming here, I always tell my children like that. I don't know, you know, they really understand that. But I start, you know, because now I will know that it's a fact. I will start to, you know, it's part of my evolution, it's gonna happen to everybody. And at the same time, I think I will train myself every day on those 3 months to be ready to die. Like, you know, I do like exercises, like, you know, in my mind, get ready. I'm also trying to get my family ready. Because anyway, it's gonna happen 3 months or 10 years, or it's gonna happen to everybody. So I think we should be always be ready because it's, you know, something that's gonna happen as a fact.
I think for me there might be some letting go of expectations, like things that I had hoped to resolve before I was gone, and kind of giving that up in relationships. And that would be both probably sad and liberating to just let go of those.
Yeah. Well, I think that's an excellent point, and I think there's going to have to be a lot of letting go going on in this time, right? And anytime we let go of something, there is some sadness and there is some liberation, and that's a good thing to explore. Letting go. It's a great point. Yeah.
Years ago, at a very difficult time in my life, I was asked to make a gratitude list. Write down 15 things you're most grateful for.
Yeah.
And it surprised me what came out. And it wasn't about money, job, anything material. It all came down to relationships.
Yeah.
And with 3 months to live, my life is fundamentally defined by the relationships in it. And with 3 months to live, it's time for closure, settlement, clean up the loose ends. When you said 3 months to live, the first word that popped in my mind was closure.
Yeah.
You've got to go back, look at the people you've hurt, the people you've impacted, people who benefited by knowing you, and you need to get closure on each one of those relationships.
Yeah. Because I think one of the worst things you can have, you know, in those last moments is regrets. Huh? Let's go. Let's move it up another notch. Turn up the heat a little bit. Let me speak to the one who has 3 weeks to live. So you are? 3 weeks to live. I want to hear the first person you'd call and what you'd tell them.
My wife, tell her I love her.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call anyone, I'd go to their house.
You go to their house?
I'd go to my family.
Darn right you would. That's right. You wouldn't just send them an email.
No.
That's the same. I would go to New Orleans.
To where?
To New Orleans.
To New Orleans? Is that where you're from?
No. This is where I would be if I only had 3 more weeks.
Okay. All right.
I'm kind of experiencing this right now because with Robin, I know we only have about 3 weeks together left, and because of that, I really appreciate every single minute I have with her. And I know that I will really miss her when those 3 weeks are over, and that she will miss me. But I also know how how influential we both are at this point to each other, and how that makes every minute so special.
I now pronounce you husband and wife.
I'd stop going to the gym.
You stop going to the gym?
What's the point?
I think I probably would too. I think we can scratch the gym off the list right there.
For each of these intervals, if you allow us, it seemed to me more and more to think about appreciating what I have. And also, even at 3 years, and certainly 3 months, I was thinking, oh, now I can finally give up trying to give up smoking.
Take that one off the list. Yeah.
The shorter the time becomes, the more present I become. The more the moment of now is more significant.
Yeah, I feel just even the room right now, the energy is more intense than it was when we started out. I think because we're all kind of there.
As an example, he pledged his ever-dying love for her.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call anybody. I wouldn't tell anyone. I wouldn't want it to change my experience.
Okay. It's just like you won the lottery and you don't want your friends to know. In a way, because it ruins the relationship, right? So you might as well just cruise on through. That's nice, actually. Good.
3 months is finally gonna get rid of the TV, and yeah, I don't get bothered.
We're down to 3 weeks now.
I mean, that's what I mean.
So the
3 weeks,
VCR
wouldn't
too.
bother. I just freaking wouldn't bother doing that.
Yeah, a lot of the things just become quite unimportant, I think. Yeah.
I'd call my former wife and tell her, oh, good. I would tell her how much I love her, despite the fact that she's remarried and she really doesn't care for me very much.
If you had 3 weeks to live, I bet she'd tell you how she really felt.
Who would you talk to?
Yeah, I think I'd call Uber. Yeah. I think I'd actually, 3 weeks might not be enough time, but I think I'd like to have a really big party.
Yeah.
You know, just like invite everybody, you know, help people pay who, you know, to come, you know, who can pay.
Right.
And just like, you know, connect with everybody.
Yeah. Lots of hugs.
Yeah.
I want to thank the 2 women over there for both saying they wouldn't tell anybody, because I thought I was the only one who knew that song.
Yeah. Well, it's, you know, we're all so unique in our relationships and our life is so unique. I mean, there's nobody like you, right? Very special. We're going to do things our way. And that's why I wanted to explore this in kind of a group context, and just, you know, see all the different ways that we might deal with something like this, and also to give each other some ideas about, you know, maybe, gosh, now that I heard Jude, maybe I wouldn't call anybody either, you know, I would just want to like live, and it'd be hard not to change in the face of that. Your friends would think something's up, I think, even if you didn't tell them, because you'd probably act different, I don't know, but would you act different? How would you? Yeah.
It'd be kind of hard not to.
Friends
Pretty
were
hard not
saying
to.
why you're such a jerk.
Yeah.
Why you acting that way?
Yeah. I want to hear more about the people that you will talk to and what you'd say to them now.
Kind of weird, but you know, I in a sense, I kind of talk to myself. You know, just kind of like try to become at peace with myself, because one thing I've noticed with people that I've known that have passed, it's really difficult when I know that person wasn't at peace with themselves. I've had a couple friends who have taken their own lives. They're not at peace with themselves. So kind of becoming at peace with yourself and being okay with it kind of opens doors for other people to be okay with it as well. You know, kind of like when you tease yourself, when you make fun of yourself, it opens the gates like, oh, well, the guy can, you know, he can bounce off whatever, or, you know, the same thing would happen with like death. If you're at peace with it, then then everyone else, well, he's comfortable with it, then I'm happy. We can celebrate his life rather than mourn it.
That's so true. You know, when you visit people who are in palliative care, and they are comfortable with their death, and they're comfortable talking to you
Right.
about their death, you are much more comfortable in that whole conversation and that visit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the person who's dying probably has the easiest role here, huh?
Yeah.
Because how are your friends and your family going to react?
A lot of people have a hard time letting go more than you would.
Yeah.
If you're the person who's dying, you're coming to terms with it, but it's harder for other people.
And they might have some issues to close with you
Yeah.
as well. Huh? I mean, all your old boyfriends are going to call up. How did you die?
Also, on those 3 weeks, the last day that we have, or that I have, is like, am I in pain? Am I sick? Or I'm, healthy and I just go. So for somebody who really, in my case, I'm an athlete, I do martial arts. I have a melanoma 2 years ago, but I haven't ever. So it was took out, but I freak out. Like, finally I was looking at spirituality because I was so like freak out. But I realized that if it, it's very painful, the last few days, dying would be, wow, it's great. But now if I'm normal, I'm healthy, maybe it would be a different point of view. So I tell my family, try to be with my family, but at the same time I will try to talk to people who may know where I'm going, what's going to happen,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost that you go right to big heart because you got to choose your words very carefully and convey the truth about how you really feel and relate to somebody else. The love is so significant because that's really what you leave behind. Everything else is pretty much insignificant. Whether we rock climbed or whatever we did together isn't as important as what we meant to each other and how we viewed each other in those moments.
All right. So in a way, it brings a focus into, let me see if this is fair to say, that what the consequences of your actions.
Yeah, it's about
right?
the heart.
The things you say, the things you've said, and now it takes on a different light, right? Yeah. Okay, let's move it up another notch.
Why don't we just die right here?
Okay, let me speak to the one who has 3 days. So you are? The one with 3 days to live. So now what?
And I thought of this in 3 weeks at the end too. I fly, skydiving, paragliding, any of that
Okay.
flying stuff.
Okay.
That I've never done.
So you try to still fill your life with all the stuff.
Something really, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
That, very dangerous things that
Dangerous.
you might be hesitating on that because it might kill you. So I.
Yeah.
This
Okay.
I'm still wondering why I didn't do any of this stuff that we're talking about. The real reason why I didn't do any of what we talked about. These great things. Like I have my whole life and still now, and I still haven't done it.
Yeah.
What the hell?
What's up with that? Okay.
Every time I talk to someone, it's great, it's wonderful, we're gonna do some great things. We didn't do any of them.
Yeah.
I hate to say this, but the truth of the matter is my mom was there when I was born, and I would want her there when I left. Even though it's unnatural and somewhat kind of selfish, I think about it. But in that moment, I'd want her there for those last 3 days. Because there's nobody that knows me better than her. There's unconditional love there, and that's what I would want in my death.
You only got 3 days.
My colleague's in his 80s, and I speak to him about 3 or 4 times a week. He almost died last week, but he'll recover. But the idea is that every conversation I have with him, to treat it like it might be his last, our last, and to make sure that he knows how much I love him just in the ordinary conversations that we have every time we have them.
I think at that time frame, everything gets to be really kind of sacred, and I don't think you have the luxury of not telling people what's happening because they need an opportunity for closure too. They have to be able to tell you the stuff that they won't regret later that they didn't tell you because they didn't know.
Yeah. Yeah, in a way, you almost have to serve the people around you as the one that's dying. Because they're going to have to carry on.
Yeah, the idea of like sort of giving people your blessings, whatever they were, you know, but still that sort of feeling of wanting to let people know that you think they're okay and you wish them.
Right. Yeah, you're really worried about what happens after you die? I mean, maybe you aren't. Let me know.
I do.
You do? That's right, you have a planet. Okay.
I'd probably just plant myself at my home and let people know, just because if I travel too much, it might be the people who do want to see me, it'd be hard for them. So I'd plant myself at my house, give away my possessions, you know, and at the same time I'd be with my wife or, you know, my family. I guarantee, I think it'd be shocking to see how many people would show their true love to you. You know, people who have to work would take 3 days off and come and just be with you for 3 days. Like, if they knew 3 days, I'd just plant myself in one spot and let people who cared about me come to me, because then nothing but joy will come through that door.
Yeah, and just offer yourself up to the process. Yeah. Yes, sir.
It's like the ultimate exercise in letting go. You know, of all of the things that we're attached to, and keeping grace and composure at the same time. So.
Yeah. Takes some training, huh? Might be good to practice for a while before it happens.
I'll still be off to New Orleans, and I'll probably help somebody out down there.
Okay. Yeah, sounds great.
It's a Monday. Or it will be Monday tomorrow.
Yeah, Monday. It's Monday coming up, yeah.
I would make sure that I slept well, so that I had sort of clarity and alertness when I was present, because I functioned very well.
You know, it's funny, when I was thinking about this talk this morning, I was thinking that I wouldn't be able to sleep at all. I would just like to want to stay awake the whole time. You know?
That's how I feel.
But maybe you're right. Maybe that would just kind of, I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to figure, like, what exactly what would you do? What would you want to eat, you know?
It then becomes about the spirit. It's more of the spiritual realm, because all the secular marketplace thinking is so insignificant. How do I get in touch with that spirit that is true? Because that's where I'm seeking to head. And the more awareness that I become of that the body is leaving, the more in touch I want to become with the spirit.
Yeah, it makes you kind of wonder what is going to happen, I guess, huh? Like, are you going to go to heaven? Going to have a planet?
Oh, I know that ain't.
You're going to just dissolve into something? You know? I mean, nobody knows, right? Nobody really knows. Yeah.
When I think of having 3 days left, what comes into my mind is I've already said all my goodbyes and tied up all the loose ends, and I would just sit down, light some candles, and be still.
Yeah.
Collect myself. And maybe people would visit, but I would pretty much just sit.
Yeah.
Be prepared.
Sounds like what I do. Yeah, okay. All right, one more. 3 minutes.
Oh, shit.
You have 3 minutes to live. So I'm speaking to 3 minutes to live.
I'd have sex twice.
You know, Anthony, I've heard maybe 6 times for you. Okay, you'd have to have things set up, of course, somehow. What else? Seriously, what's your state of mind with 3 minutes to go?
Okay, this time I would use the phone.
You would use the phone, okay.
I'd call my mom.
Sure.
That's what I did.
If she wasn't right there next to you.
Yeah, if I weren't already there.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think your state of mind would depend on if you were leading into the 3 minutes knowing the 3 years, then knowing the 3 months, then knowing the 3 weeks, then 3 days, and if you got to the 3 minutes with all of that, then you pretty much probably taken care of everything.
Right.
So you would just sit back and relax. But if it was like, you know,
Like if I told you right now, 3 minutes.
3 minutes to live, you'd panic and freak out probably, and like, oh, I needed that 3 years, I needed that 3 months, and you'd run rampant going, what do I do? And you'd probably waste so much time and frustration in that 3 minutes that.
Yeah, you'd be spinning around like the Tasmanian devil or something. Whoa. Or not, or you might just kind of go, you know, into a kind of a state of samadhi, you know, where everything just drops away, right? Like we do here in Zen and meditation is that the ego just kind of drops away and you're just left, you know, in the absolute, in a beautiful spot.
It's kind of funny, but I'd utilize technology because there's so many people I'd want to call, but in all actuality, you'd only really get one call. You can't call someone and tell them you love them and they're okay with that. You know, hey, I got 3 minutes to live, love you, bye.
Yeah.
And you know, unfortunately, like probably what I would do is I'd probably text message just my entire family, just a simple I love you. Don't tell them that I'm dying, just a simple I love you.
Yeah.
And then I'd call my wife and she'd be the one I'd talk to personally.
Yeah, I personally, you'd have to, for me, I'd have to pick out that one person, with probably my wife too, and just tell them everything that I could, and tell them to tell everybody else.
I kind of have to.
Yeah, I mean, it's so abrupt like that. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I'd want to hold the hands of the people around me.
Yeah.
It seems like suddenly everybody becomes the same person, whether it's my husband or my mother.
Yeah.
It's the people in the room.
Well, that's what we say, we're all one, huh? Yeah. We certainly share a lot of the same feelings in this issue. Yeah.
3 minutes, I'd go to the park out there and I'd say thank you. It's been a good life. Just leave with that.
Make a bow and bow out. Yeah.
In 3 minutes, there's not enough I can express. And so I sit here and just say, I love you.
No, I pronounce it. Big kiss the bride. No, but that's beautiful, you know, it's very beautiful. I'm gonna start crying. Yeah, it's
All right, I think I would just sit on Krishna.
Yeah.
Be quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to squarely face the situation and see what happens. I mean, if I can manage that courage, it's kind of a tall order.
Yeah.
But I think I would like to actually experience it.
Just be there, eyes wide open, and just like, wow, what is this gonna be? Yeah, just bring it on.
This is where you pass out Kool-Aid.
Yeah. There's a spaceship pulling up outside.
I'd start looking for a spiritual teacher.
Yeah. Just Google them really fast.
I think I'd have enough time to, you know, it's about time I did something.
Yeah, 3 minutes.
I'd definitely be searching for, or being to tell myself that this really doesn't matter. And it's kind of, I guess, a hard thing to come by, but in a sense, nothing really matters and everything will always exist. And so, you know, my life, although this sentient being that I'm in is gone, everything's going to continue and I'm going to be a part of it no matter what. And trying to just come with 100% faith that that is the truth. And knowing that.
I break, this sounds terrible, I break the 3 minutes down into 1 minute intervals. And the first minute would be a real quick look at the sum total of my life and the value of it. The second minute would be to forgive everyone in my life, and the third minute would be to forgive me. And the last breath, I would want to be holding the hand of the person closest to me.
Her.
Oh, I think I'd want to start singing and kind of leave making a little noise.
Okay, sure.
I read a lot. I used to follow kind of Hinduism. They say that at the moment you die, you're thinking about deity, Krishna, Buddha, Rama. You are sure that you will go to a better level of existence. So probably thinking about Buddha, meditating, Buddha, Krishna, Rama, all those guys.
Yeah. If you're Christian, you'd be praying and your head off probably.
The deathbed, repentance.
But nobody really knows, do they? Nobody knows.
I'm pretty sure I would go over into the park and take my clothes off and lay on the grass and stare straight into the sun.
I'm down with that. Sounds great, yeah.
I realize that even though I'm crying, there's no pain or sadness here. There's just this immense feeling of love and peace and calm. But all that other stuff just is non-existent.
Yeah.
Smile and breathe.
Yeah. Anybody else? Okay, one more. I'd like to speak to the one who's dead. Who's already dead. Okay, so you.
It's a nice day outside.
Don't worry about it. We'll come back. I'll bring him back in 2 minutes. So you are? Dead. Got anything to say?
Thank God.
You're more the Grateful Dead. I know, for me, I always thought, I'd just go, what the hell was that? You know, life. What is it? Yeah.
I think you become the observer as we do.
Well, I don't want to speculate on that. Actually, you know what? Our time's up. So I think,
You gonna leave us dead?
Okay, all right. Let me speak to the ordinary self that walked in here. All right, so you are? Okay, you're all right? Yeah. You gonna make it through the rest of the day? Yeah. All right, hey, thanks a lot. And we have some announcements by Jody, our church lady.
Yes, thank you.